All right, guys, so we're talking about chords and chord charts. You've been practicing these chords, G and a form of C. Should look like this and this. You're not moving those last two, right? All right, so let me prove to you that what I'm talking about is real. So, I got this from musicformusicteachers.com, just to give credit where credit is due. I got a blank sheet. See the bottom two, the last three are blank. Yep. Guys, check this out. Chord charts are very, very helpful, especially when you're starting out. Check this out. So we've talked about the parts of the guitar and where your fingers go. Chord charts, like, you're not just getting it from me. These are universal things. This is like just truth about music, basic theory. A G looks a certain way, a C looks a certain way. So the form of C that I've been having you play is actually called C add 9. And we're going to add a chord today called D. But check that out. So there's G, C add 9, and D. Check that out. So let's just go through this. Let me put my guitar back on for a second. All right, so G, it shows you on this chord chart, the bottom numbers are the numbers of your fingers. So on G, what does it say? Your second finger goes first, and these are the frets, right? So the top of the fret, there's that nut of your guitar. Just like on the guitar, it's white. On this, it's black. It's just showing you the top of the chart, like the guitar is like this. It'd be confusing if they did it the other way, that's all. Okay, so 2 is your second finger. Not from your thumb, but from your first finger, second finger. It's your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the string. That's the furthest to the left. That's the high, that's the lower E string, right? So just like I told you. Then the first finger goes on the 2nd fret of the next string, right? Just like I showed you. And then the 3rd, which is your ring finger, and the 4th. So it should be that normal G. Then C add 9, the same thing. Just like I was showing you, it jumps up 2 strings. Okay? So you see how it says exactly where to put your fingers? That cool? So now we're going to learn the D chord, you guys. So, you know, you can look on Google, ChatGPT will even generate them for you. You can download free ones. This website was pretty good. I don't know. Anyways, you can download, you can look up pretty much whatever you want. I mean, and then you just plug it in and say, okay, I want 50 chords or whatever, and you just look it up, and there they all are, you know. So, and it'll show you where you put your, some of them don't show you where to put your fingers. So it's like, this is the one, this is like the traditional one that I've used, but I've also seen the numbers inside the circle. Like if the circle is a black dot, there's a little white number 1. That's your first finger. You understand? But the fret, it's not, don't get confused, because it's not the number of the fret. The fret are these, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can just count those out. And the number of the strings is just like on your guitar, left to right. Okay, so let's learn a new chord called D. This chord is called D for Daniel Divine. No, just kidding. Okay, so you're going to put, according to this chord chart, what are we going to put? Check it out, guys. I'm trying to do it so you can see it. Your first doesn't mean the first thing that you do. It means the first finger. But in this case, it also happens to be the first thing that you're going to do. See, on the G and the C, it was your second finger that was first. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so you're going to put the first finger, the index finger, on the second fret of the fourth string. Yes, the second fret of the fourth string. It should look like this. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the frets are 1, 2. Now, you're going to do kind of like that C add 9. You're going to put one right behind it, but you're going to skip a string. So take, it says to put, I'm going off the chord chart, not making this up. Put your middle finger on the second fret of the last string, the lightest string, the E string. So the second fret, see how they look like they're right? It's hard to see. Right behind each other? Yeah, that's good. Now you're going to put your ring. This is a funky chord in some ways, okay? It's not anything like the G and the C add 9. Put your ring finger on the third fret of the B string. The B string. And I put it on this chart to help us remember at the top. See the one right here. Elvis ate drugs, goodbye Elvis. E-A-D-G-B-E. The names of the notes of the open strings without you putting your fingers is E-A-D-G-B-E. So I'm going to start. You want to familiarize yourself with that. Remember that. Elvis ate drugs, goodbye Elvis. Because I'm going to starting right at this very moment, I'm going to start talking about the strings instead of, oh, the furthest from you or the fourth string. I'm going to call them by their actual names. Why? Because we're getting better. We're moving forward. Hello. So you're learning a couple new skills in one day. So you put your first finger, second fret of the G. Good. Second finger on the second fret of the high E. Third finger, third fret of the B. Should sound like that. Now, if you'll notice on this guitar, on this chord chart, look at the D. See that the first two, there's X's on the first two? That's very important because actually this chord does not start with the first two strings. I mean, you can, but it's technically wrong. If you're using a pick, which you should be when you begin, you're going to start on the D string. E, Elvis ate drugs. Okay, that's the third string. That's how you have to think. Okay? And you're going to play from that string, the third string, the D string, forward. So it's kind of like a little tinny sounding because you don't have the first two strings to give it that fresh, full sound. Now, later on when we use our thumb, you're going to add a note with your thumb, which is kind of cool. That's a real important chord for bluegrass and everything. That makes it fuller sounding, but for the beginning, let's just start at the beginning and just do that, okay? So, what I want you to practice, you've already been practicing the G to the C add 9, and we haven't gotten into strumming at all yet, so you're just playing it like this, I'm assuming. Maybe you've been trying to fool around, play some strumming. That's good. It's good to play around with it, familiarize yourself, even before we study it together, because it'll break you in. It'll give you a knowledge so that when I actually talk the knowledge, it'll make sense to you. So it's good to just play around with the guitar and try to make sounds that you don't even know what you're doing, because you'll actually learn quicker that way. That's what worked for me. So now you're going to add to the two chords. You already know two chords. Congratulations. Now you're going to add D. So we're going to actually jump in the next lesson, jump into basic strumming, because I want you to start playing a few songs with this, what you would call a chord progression. 3, 4, 5 chords is a chord progression. two chords together is two chords together. But you now have your first chord progression to practice. So G, C to D. Yeah, G, C, D, G. That actually is a higher level than you would think of guitar playing. Beginner, but higher level. Okay, so G, C, then D, then G. So you're gonna practice just doing this. G, C, D. You should be able to do it just about that fast. You can try strumming if you want, but just do it like this. See, even I had to do it. Now you're gonna have to, look at a chord chart, or you're gonna have to re-watch this video for the first few times to get what we're doing, okay? But eventually, when I say, hey, play a D chord, you'll just automatically go into it, It becomes second nature. But guys, you have to start at the beginning. Remember what I keep saying, a little bit a day goes a long way. So that is the basics of chords, and I gave you 3 chords to play. Guys, you're moving along at an alarming rate. Praise the Lord. So, what I want you to do is download your own chord charts. Check it out and see that what I'm saying actually is true. And you can trust me. You should know that by now. And just play G, that's C add 9, and D for the next however long it takes to feel comfortable. And then we're going to jump into strumming in the next lesson. Okay, we'll see you there.